Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. So we are witnessing the next hoax, essentially, where they take a little clip of what Trump says, like for example, Trump's very fine people speech, where he said that there are very fine people on both sides. Then he went on and condemned all of the white supremacist, radical, bad people, essentially. And they've done that type of thing to countless other media on the right, specifically, typically, right? And so we have Trump's response here, and I like it because if you're on the X, it seems like we're getting ahead of this potential hoax before it can really spread. But there is this huge group of people who, they're too busy or they just don't want to involve in politics, insert their excuse with their heads in the sand. And so when they pop up to breathe every once in a while, they get hit with article after article from fake news, essentially showing just snippets, just a little bit of a speech or of an interview that just so happens to fit their narrative. And so they don't show anything before what was said. They don't show anything beyond what was said. They just show those few words that they can spin into anything that they want. And so here we have this article from the Daily Wire. Trump slams fake news media after spin on the auto industry bloodbath prediction, right? Former President Donald Trump slammed the media on Monday after multiple outlets ran out of context headlines on a prediction he made about being a bloodbath in the auto industry job market due to President Joe Biden's policies. CBS News, Rolling Stone, and other outlets published headlines on Trump's bloodbath comments, excluding the fact that he was referring to American auto workers being hurt by Biden's trade policies. Trump made the remarks during a speech in Ohio on Saturday. And I'll play the actual interview for you here just in a second after I read Trump's response. The fake news media and their Democrat partners in the destruction of our nation pretended to be shocked at my use of the word bloodbath, even though they fully understood that I was simply referring to imports allowed by crooked Joe Biden, which are killing the automobile industry. Trump posted this on his Truth Social platform. Quote, "The United Auto Workers, but not their leadership, fully understand what I mean." Trump also took a shot at Biden's electric vehicle policies, which he said would lead to no cars being made in the United States. With the electric car mandate being pushed by Biden, there soon won't be any cars made in the United States unless I'm elected president, in which case auto manufacturing will thrive like never before. MAGA 2024, he said. So what happened? During his Ohio rally, Trump said that China was building manufacturing plants in Mexico to sell cars in the United States with no tax at the border. After the speech, NBC News ran a headline saying, "Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses the election," while CBS News said, "In Ohio campaign rally, Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses November election." Biden's campaign also commented, releasing a statement on the bloodbath remark, without a single mention of cars, but repeated mentions of violence. Now here, let me just show you something real quick. Here is the definition of bloodbath according to Merriam-Webster. You see that there? That's Merriam-Webster, bloodbath. It's a noun. Its definitions are a great slaughter, 2A, a notably fierce, violent, or destructive contest or struggle, and 2B, a major economic disaster. So Trump's use of the word bloodbath is actually used properly per the dictionary, right? And we have this other post here from End Wokeness, and this is where I'm going to play the video for you. We are witnessing the invention of the bloodbath hoax in real time. Unfortunately for them, we have X, media narrative, NBC News. And then here we got this little meme, media narrative versus the full context. And so the media narrative's on the left. NBC News, Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses. CBS News, Ohio rally, Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses. Rolling Stone, Trump says there will be a bloodbath in elections, ... right? So here's what Trump actually said.
Mexico has taken over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories.
So there you have the full context. What do you guys think about Trump's comments? I tend to think that when you put them in full context, it's pretty simple to understand that Trump was just talking about the automobile industry and that all those people that build cars in our country will be out of the job, right? We'll be buying cars made by the Chinese in Mexico, so they'll be made in Mexico, Chinese owned. I don't believe that's something that China would allow us to do over in their country. Go over there, American made cars out of Japan, sold to China, right? Or insert country, I don't know. But, which frankly, I understand that shipping cars overseas has to be expensive. And if you can manufacture a car on the same continent, then you certainly could save some money on that end. But look, we can't be dealing with China in ways that they aren't willing to deal with us. As simple as that. That's a pretty plain and simple principle standard to have, right? I mean, it's very obvious who is a winner and who's a loser in those situations. So anyways, there you have it. The video in the full context. Share it with your friends. Get out ahead of the narrative that could become, the next, like I said in the beginning, very fine people hoax. And that's just the best way to counter the attacks from the left that we're going to see here in 2024 as we inch closer to the elections in November. So when we see this type of news come out, we need to share it with our parents. We need to share it with our friends and say, hey, look, this is what he really said. Check this out. And then whenever the article comes out the next day that claims Trump said something different, these people will be able to recognize in their own minds that they were being lied to because they already knew what Trump said in the full context. That's something that I stole, actually, and I think it's a great idea. Ian Crossland from Tim Pool's live show actually said that that's what he does with his parents. It's the best way to have them actually see what's going on for themselves. Just by being prompt and being able to kind of see what's coming and just getting out ahead of it. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and check out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Big year this year. And I don't ask often, but share this one with your friends if you don't mind. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.